Hello students. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss an important topic from the chapter of the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Alright, so we have already gone through the video of the entire flower. Alright, so today we will be talking about the individual component, and in that aspect, we are going to discuss about the male reproductive part of the flower, which is the stamen. So as you can see on your screen, the model of the stamen being represented. All right, so we will see that what is the importance of the structure, or what are the important components that are present in the structure in detail. All right, now so let me just start with the description part first, and then we will label on the things as well. So we are going to discuss about stamen, and this is a stamen. All right. Now, stamen, which is also known by another name, which is called microsporophyll. All right. So, stamen is also known as microsporophyll. Now, stamen is considered to be as the structural, functional part of the male reproductive organ of the flower, which is known by another name, and that is called Androecium. So stamen is usually considered to be as the structural component also, as well as the functional component also of the male reproductive organ of the flower. And the male reproductive organ of the flower is considered to be the Androecium. All right. So indirectly we can say that this Androecium represents the whorl of stamens. Or in other language we can say it as group of stamens. So understand this fact very carefully, that there is a difference between the technological or the biological terminology. Androecium is considered to be as the group of stamen. But when we consider only stamen, then this stamen is considered to be as the unit of Androecium, we can say. Now we'll see the components of the stamen. So before writing the description part, let's see that what does a stamen consist of. Now, this stamen consists of two parts. So these are called anther. All right, and this is represented as a filament. So a stamen has two parts, that means an anther and a filament. So we can write down here as well. All right. What are those? Anther and filament. Now, if we consider the anther part, anther is considered to be as the fertile portion of stamen. So this anther is the fertile portion of stamen. All right, so this is the fertile portion of stamen. Now, so if I just remove these labelings, and you can see on your screen, the anther is usually present in the form of lobes. So these anthers, they are present in the form of lobes. And as you can see that they are bilobed. So anther, so we have known that anther is the fertile portion of stamen, and it is usually bilobed. All right. And these two lobes, it is connected by a connective tissue in between. All right. So let me just show you. Flip the model a little bit so you can see like this. If I just maximize this one. So basically you can see that in between they are connected by a connective tissue. So each anther, or you can say each anther lobe, connected by connective tissue. So there is a tissue which is connecting these what? Anther lobes. Now, each of the lobes of the anther is having two theca. Alright, so that's why the angiospermic anther is considered to be bilobed and dithecous. Alright, so and another important point to be noted over here is that each lobe is having two theca. Theca means chambers. Alright, so each anther lobe is having two theca. So that's why anther is considered to be bilobed and dithecous. So this is the important point that has to be noted. Alright, so this was about the anther part. Now, we will also discuss that what does this theca represent. Alright, I'll just draw an overview that how this theca looks like. Alright, so if I just draw it, so the theca is usually present over here. So one theca is present over here, one theca is present over here, one is here and one is here. Alright, so we are going to study the details of the theca in the form of microsporangium in the next video as well. Alright, but in this video, we are just going to have an overview that how it actually looks like. So you can see that each lobe is having two theca. Alright, so this is the theca that I was talking about. Alright, now this theca actually represents a unique structure which is called as microsporangium. Alright, so this theca represents microsporangium, which are the main internal structures of a stamen that is going to produce the pollen grains. Alright, so this theca, it represents the microsporangium. So altogether, we can say that how many microsporangium are present? There are a total of 4 microsporangia being present. Alright, so we can say that this is the 1, 2, 3 and 4. Alright, so a typical anther consists of 4 microsporangia. Microsporangium is the singular term and microsporangia is the plural term. Alright, so this 4 microsporangium condition is referred to as tetrasporangiate condition. 4 means tetra. So this is a tetrasporangiate condition. Alright, and this is one of the important features of the anther. So this was about the anther part that we have discussed. So we have seen till now that the anther is the fertile portion. It is bilobed and dithecous, and the theca is usually representing the chamber or the microsporangium. And since there are 4 microsporangium present in the anther, so the anther is considered to be as a tetrasporangiate condition. Alright, so this is the case. Now let's just talk about the filament part. But before proceeding on to the filament part, one important point that has to be noted is that, as I already told you, that these microsporangia, this is also referred to as the future pollen sac. Alright, so this thing you must know that microsporangia represents future pollen sac. And if this is a future pollen sac, sac means chamber, so this pollen sac is going to bear pollen grains. Alright, so this was about the entire anther part. Now we'll just talk about the filament part. So as we have seen in the model, that this is the filament. Now, filament is basically considered to be as a long, slender stalk of the stamen. So this represents long and slender stalk of stamen. So this is the long, slender stalk of stamen, which is having two ends. This filament, as you can see, it is having two ends. One end is present over here and one end is present over here. So this is having two ends. The end which is attached to anther, this is called distal end of filament. This end. This is the distal end of filament, which is attached to anther. And there is another end which is called as proximal end. Now this proximal end is actually attached to the thalamus or the petal part of the flower. So this is attached to thalamus or petal part of the flower. So this was about the filament. So we have seen the entire details of the male reproductive organ of the flower, which is having the anther and the filament. That means the stamen having the anther and the filament part. We have seen a little bit information about its internal component as well, but the details of the internal structure, which is microsporangium, we will be doing it in another video. All right, so you can have the entire description and everything content is present in the link which is provided in the description video. Thank you.